Namaste, beautiful divine beings. I wanted to share a little transmission with you, something that's coming up very, very strongly for now, especially this time of year. And it's about boundaries. Now, for a little while, I have been describing boundaries as not just something that we hold or we have or we communicate, but actually, boundaries are here to be embodied. And when we embody our boundaries, this is when the boundaries become strong. This is how we create higher and stronger boundaries that actually we don't even need to explain. People don't even question us about it just this boundary is this embodied presence that I have. It exudes it. There's an unspoken understanding between those around me, and we just don't go there anymore. And this doesn't come from having to force anything or having to push anything. This doesn't come from having to even, have lots of conversations. So then that body is that boundary is there. I'm talking about a fundamental experience, an energetic experience of embodying, of holding these boundaries as a part of our energy, the way that we not just hold ourselves and present ourselves, but the energy that we exude, the energy that we emanate. So this is really key. This embodied experience has got everything to do with our energy. And those of you that know me and follow my work and come to my classes, or especially my deeper teacher trainings or workshops, immersions, you know that I am a tantrika. And so I'm all about energy expansion. And so this, of course, is fundamentally key for me. And I want to kind of flip the idea of boundaries on its head, where it's like another person's responsibility to respect my boundary. So I was like, I've communicated it. It's your responsibility to respect it. And if you haven't, then you've overstepped that. Now, this stuff is happening, right? But if we can flip that and put our attention on ourselves, so what can I do to embody this boundary so that I can come into this actually really graceful way of holding myself and communicating without having to be firm or be forceful or be whatever, that sometimes we feel that we need to do to really get something across. So how can I have that responsibility actually as myself? I'm gonna do the work to hold this energy, to be in this frequency, so that it's this unspoken, recognized thing that this is where I am. So since I've been practicing this embodiment of boundaries, my relationships have changed significantly. My key relationships with key people in my life, with my parents, with my siblings, with my partner, and it just switched, because as soon as I made that intention and I started to embody these boundaries in a different way, I didn't just expect the boundaries to be upheld. Everything changed, everything shifted, okay? Because this communication is happening between us all the time. And it's a limitation of the mind to think that I'm not communicating with somebody in my family because they're of a lesser vibration, they're on a lesser part of their spiritual path than me. We all have our soul, and we all have a higher self, and we all are technologically advanced beings that can pick up on energy. It's just that the interface between the mind and soul might be different for people. So my father, for example, he's still picking things up just as the way that I am. He's still just as advanced spiritually as I am. It's just that he's maybe embodying more of his parts, more of his mind energy, and that's okay. And so the way that he might communicate for me is more from that place, but it's okay because we all see each other on that fundamental essence. Well, not all, but many of us see each other on that fundamental level of our true essence, of our soul energy. Okay, so getting back to embodying the boundaries. Now, there are a few aspects of embodying our boundaries. So, first of all, I want to say that this is a journey. That we're not going to just, click our fingers and, it's here. And when I kind of said it switched like that overnight, I had already been doing a lot of work. I'd already been on my journey with boundaries, experiencing boundaries. So I was with a client yesterday, and what she was saying was, even to get to the point of being really, trying to uphold her value, her boundaries, and journeying with her about, like, it was so strong for her for so many years. She was like, it's taken me 7 years to get to a point where I'm now like understanding that this is an embodied experience. So even that part of her journey was 7 years, and now she's got a little bit more to go to learn to embody those boundaries. So it's a journey. And where we've been has all been an important part of that journey, really understanding, like playing trial and error to see what worked, what didn't work. And all of that is going to help us with where we're at now. So the second thing I want to say is that these boundaries, as we're kind of switching from that other way of being, of putting the responsibility on someone else, to holding the responsibility and holding that boundary myself, like embodying it, that in that journey, that switch over journey, that there is going to be this like creating and the crossing of our boundaries and us overstepping our own boundaries as well. By the way, it's not always somebody else crosses our boundary into our space. A lot of the time we trip up and we slip up and we forget our own boundary and we go somewhere that actually we said we weren't going to go, and then that invites somebody in, So we're gonna have these trip ups and slip ups and crossovers of boundaries until we're really in that embodiment, because the embodiment process is the thing that I would spend the most time in training somebody how to do. And this is, something that I do train people to do in my courses. And it's really, as I said, an energy practice. So understanding how our energy system works is so key and fundamental to this, because if you want to exude that energy, we've got to go into study and start to play with our energy and see, first of all, where we're at with our energy system, and actually, not controlling our energy system, but, being the master of our energy system. Where are we at being able to shift and change and, use different techniques and create different effects and create different types of embodiment? Where are we with that? And where do we want to go? So, when we understand the energy system and we get like, okay, I really want to develop my chakras. I want to develop my, my heart energy, my heart activation, or I want to clear my auric field because I can see that's attracting lots of stuff in. We go into that. This is such an important part of the journey, to really become intimate with our energy systems, really become intimate. And so, the integrated yogic techniques are the supreme technologies to really clear and empower the energy systems to really work with this energy magic, with the Kundalini Shakti. And there's a way to do it. There is a way to do it. And sometimes I get concerned and alarmed by some of the practices that I see people doing. They kind of maybe start up here and want to do the upper chakra activation, when really we need to be anchoring first and foremost fundamentally down into the root and working on a lot of the stored energy here, so that the energy can rise up and we can learn to master our system more, okay? Because the self-mastery of the system relies on the cultivating a stability, really, and clearing energy that is just weighing us down. And so this is a whole area, and I'm not going to go into it today, but it's just so fascinating. I love it. I love practicing energy work and energy practices that really fundamentally activate our technology to higher and higher levels. The last element of really embodying our boundaries is also to call upon and work with the energies of what other people might call archetypes or deities or multidimensional beings, but to really draw and call in the energies of those higher vibrational beings, the characteristics of their energies, and pull those into our system. That's really where we get to the highest levels of embodying our energy, because those teachers, they teach us the finer vibrations, the finer expressions, the finer, higher values. And we learn through them to pull those energies into our system and to create a more sophisticated system. And we can, there's much more we can go on and do other than just embodying boundaries. But for now, this is what I wanted to share, that this is a complex, beautiful, incredible system for activating our incredible technologies. Now, the last thing I want to mention is that the more and more we interface the mind, body, and spirit together, and we get to these different levels of that interface, the more we activate our technology, the more we switch on our technology and we go to the next level. If you're interested in that, drop a comment, and I'm going to do some more transmissions going deeper into the mind, body, soul interface, because this is really, really important to understand at this time, how we are actually evolving and ascending, and all of these buzzwords that are used, but really from a functional point of view, like how do we switch this technology on? Okay, so thank you so much for tuning in. I've loved sharing this transmission. There are many more things to share with this, and if you're interested, then just get on my radar, drop me a comment, because I have got some beautiful offerings and courses coming very, very soon. My sacred space holding training has just landed, and I'm going to be teaching all of this stuff. Rup and I are going to be sharing our practitioner energy medicine teacher training course coming up next year. There's so many opportunities to really go deep into the study and experience and embodiment of all of this, and I would be delighted to share it with you. So get on my radar. Comment or join my mailing list, or stay connected, send me a DM, and we'll stay connected with you and hope that we can meet each other again very soon. Have a beautiful day.